What up, YouTube? Maltfrazier here, and we back in action with some track and field today. We had the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix this weekend taking place in Massachusetts, and we had some fire races going on, y'all. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today, and then just dive into what the season looks like a little bit. So to start us off, these were some competitive races this weekend, and one thing I really like about indoor season in general is just that some of your favorite athletes might be doing some different events, whether it's to be working on, like for the 60 meters, for example. A lot of the 100 meter, 200 meter runners are using the 60 meter to work on their start, you know what I mean? Or you might have a guy like Noah Lyles. He ran a 300, right? He typically runs a 100, 200, and he's using that 300 to build up his wind a little bit more, or whatever other things he might be working on. So, and then just the overall competition aspect that comes with that, right? Like typically when Noah Lyles is racing in the 100 or 200 meter, we kind of have an idea that he's going to win. In a 300, you still might be thinking Noah Lyles is going to win, but you don't know for sure. That's not his race. That's not what he's doing and training for day in and day out, so to speak. So, you add that intrigue to the race, and then, you add the 400 runners to it. So it's like, all right, we got 400 runners, we got 200 runners, and they battling out for a 300. I think that's great for the fans. So that was really exciting to see this weekend. And to start us off, to kick us off, let's talk about that 300. So it was Jareem Richards, Noah Lyles, Vernon Norwood, and Trayvon Bromell all running in that 300. And those are some heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? Trayvon Bromell, he's more of a short sprinter, and, he was pretty gassed in this one. I think after the race, he was like, man, I ain't doing that again. He's going to stick with his 100, 200. But, salute to him for going out there and competing for sure. And then Vernon Norwood, Jareem Richards, and Noah Lyles, it was, hey, may the best man win. So it was a pretty competitive race throughout. Noah had the lead for the most part, and he was running a real good race, but you could tell the race being a 300 as opposed to a 200 definitely kind of impacted him as we got closer to the finish line, right? And he started to tighten up a little bit. And Jareem Richards, having that experience running the 400, he had that extra kick that he needed to finish it out. And so Jareem Richards got a great win in that 300 meters. Obviously beating his training buddy Noah Lyles. I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun with that, and also just keep their competitive energy up, right? Like they see each other every day in practice. Jareem Richards just beat Noah on the public stage, right? And kudos to Noah, great sportsmanship and all that. But Noah Lyles is hungry. He want to win that. Every time he want to step on the track, he want to win. And so I think that only adds to the intrigue for this season. So that was a real fun race. Shout out to Jareem Richards bringing that one home. Now, after the race, they interviewed Noah Lyles, and Noah just seemed super excited about the season, honestly. His intro for the race was pretty dope, and that's something that I think track and field is starting to kind of get their feet a little bit more comfortable with, adding a little bit more intrigue to the introductions for the athletes and just making it a real sporting event. And Noah Lyles is the face of that, right? Like he's actively changing the game when it comes to how we view track and field and how the sport is being presented, so to speak. So, he came out with the bright lights, with the music, he's getting the crowd turned up. And, adding that intrigue and excitement to this sport, man, is huge. One, it's coming from, arguably the face of the sport. And you could tell Noah Lyles takes a lot of pride in that. He has a responsibility for the next generation, so to speak. You can kind of feel it when he's out there. He is putting track and field on his back, and he wants this sport to grow under his watch and be in a better position for the next era, the next generation. And so he's kind of got this kind of Michael Jordan-esque vibe going for him in the track and field lane, in my opinion, because you would hear people ask Michael Jordan, like, why did you go so hard, all the time? And he felt like he had a responsibility. He owed it to the person sitting at the top of the stadium to put on his best performance, because that person paid money to come see him. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have to. Or the person who came to boo and hate on him, he wanted to shut that person up. And you could tell Noah has that same energy about him. The people that show up to boo, he wants to show them this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is my world, and I'm the best at it. And, for that person who spent their hard-earned money or time to come see him race, he wants to put on a show for him. And you hear him talking, he's like, listen, as track and field athletes, I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying like, we're asking for more. We're asking for more money, more publicity, and just more in general. And so we have to be willing to deliver. And you see him bringing that energy, bringing the fun to the sport. And you hear him talking. He's like, man, I want to be active this year. He's going to be racing a lot from what it sounds like. And so as much as he can get in the mix, he's going to be in there competing, running in 100s, 200s. He said he's going to run the 60 meters at Indoor Worlds. And so, or excuse me, not Indoor Worlds, National Championships. And so, Noah Lyles is going to give us a lot to watch this year. So, man, I'm excited, man. And this was a great kickoff to the season. Now, another race with a lot of build-up and intrigue this weekend was the men's 400. We had young Quincywilson. We had Caleb McRae out of Alabama, Roll Tide. We had Elijah Goodwin and Johnny Blockberger. And so those four faced off in the men's 400. And this race, really, to me, it came down to like at that 200 mark when they made their turn for that final lap. Quincywilson made a move to try to get ahead of the pack. And then Caleb McRae made a move also to kind of keep him at bay. And to me, that was the race. Caleb McRae had the lead from that point on, and Quincy was trying to, get in there, but Caleb was able to keep him and everybody else off, and it was a real good race. And I'm sure we'll see, those two probably facing off a lot in the near future, just given that they're, close in age. But shout out to Caleb McRae, real good race for him, and obviously we'll be tuned in to see what young Quincy and everybody else got going on this season. Now with the women's 400, we had Anna Hall kind of headlining that one, and this was another competitive race. Came down really to the lean at the end. Anna Hall and Nicole Yergin, and Nicole Yergin was able to hold off Anna Hall with a 52.63 at the line, and very impressive race. Now Anna Hall, she runs pretty much every event with her doing the heptathlon, and so literally one of the best athletes in the world, like no exaggeration. So beating her is no small feat. So shout out to Nicole Yergin on that one. And then Dina Asher-Smith, we saw Dina in the 60 meters, very highly anticipated just because she had so many coaching changes over the last few years, just kind of bouncing around a little bit and just trying to see, like, does she still kind of have a chance to be an elite sprinter still, right? Like, and so kicking the season off with a great 60-meter win, looking real good for Dina this year. She ran a 7.08, and she said, that's the fastest she had run in years. So definitely hitting the ground hard this year for Dina, and that was the 60-meter races are a lot of fun. I mean, they're so fast. As soon as you kind of can start seeing some separation most of the time, it's like the race is over. So literally a flash, but real good run for Dina. And then the last race I wanted to focus on was the 800 meters for the men, because we had a world record. Josh Hoey, I mean, he did his thing, man. Broke the world record for indoor 800 meter. And this race started off, it was him and his brother kind of leading the charge. His brother was in front of him, and his brother ended up, dropping out like halfway through. And Josh Hoey just, man, he smashed the gas on it. Like they had the lights, going beside his feet, indicating that, he was on world record watch. And I thought that was really cool, actually, just to be able to see, like, if he can beat the light, that means he breaks the world record. And so that last lap, his brother was, like, cheering him on. And you could tell, like, as he was passing his brother, he got a little bit of an adrenaline boost right there. And he was able to break the world record. So shout out to Josh Hoey, a tremendous start to the season, breaking an indoor record for the 800 meters. So very exciting kickoff to the track and field season. Now, this wasn't the first race of the season, but I would say this is the biggest race that we've had thus far in the short indoor season. And so to me, this was a real good look just because we had a decent amount of big names competing in this one. The races were really competitive, and there just seemed to be a lot of excitement and good energy around the event. So we want that to keep, building in the track and field lane. And it sounds like it's going to be a great year. Now, going back to Noah Lyles a little bit, I mean, I just love the competitive nature of Noah, man. I mean, he wants to go out there and compete against the best, and he backs it up. I don't mind you talking smack and being just a real fierce competitor, whether that turns people off or not. If you back it up, bro, I ain't got no issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Noah backs it up. Now, in this particular day, he lost, right? But you see how he took his defeat. He was happy for his teammate. Obviously, he comes out here to win every time, but you could tell, like, Noah Lyles not losing no sleep over that. He about to get back in the lab this week, see where he can improve on, and and he's going to go back out there next time looking to get a better result. And, you know, that's a dog mentality, dog competitor. So, man, I'm big Noah Lyles fans over here. And, you know, we excited track is back. So definitely just wanted to do this video to recap the weekend and also let all my kind of casual track and field fans know that track is back. Be on the lookout, whether you on YouTube with it. Peacock tends to show a lot of the races. So, you know, just be on the lookout, man. But we're going to have some more track and field content coming soon. And, you know, Maltfrazier will be back. Holla at y'all. Peace.